What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have a lot of tea to go over. We've got a lot of tea to discuss. But before we get into the details, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so here comes Hughley coming after Nicki Minaj unprovoked. So he decides to hop online and shade Nicki and her husband because her husband, he's a registered SO, but Nicki did clock 30 and say that's still 30-year-old T. But he's out here talking about Nicki Minaj like he doesn't have a whole graveyard of skeletons dancing in his closet.
I can't tell people what to post or what to say, but Nicki Minaj damn sure needs to stay away from anything, posting anything about kids, trans or otherwise. She supports a dude that is on the Epstein list 1,000 times. She's actually married to a registered. She shouldn't be able to watch Jason Kidd or listen to Kid and Play or New Kids on the Block. Hell, she got to walk around the aisle with Cabbage Patch Kids on it. And she damn sure should stay away from Sour Patch Kids. And it ain't Governor Newsom Nicki needs to be worried about. It's Chris Hansen.
This is the same man that has been his to Ladonna for over 30 years, while being a straight serial cheater out here with his side pieces until he knocked one of his side pieces up. And then the side chick's jealous boyfriend murdered, allegedly, the innocent newborn. And the kicker, he had his wife pay all the bills for his mistress. For years, at least I can say Kenneth hasn't cheated on Nicki Minaj. But how are you gonna have your wife pay your side chick's bills for years? And then he's out here talking like he's the moral police. Forgetting that he fumbled his own blood, because when his teenage daughter, when she was a teenager, she's older now, but when she was a teenager, she had got an exit allegedly, and she had told him. And instead of him being a supportive father and taking action against it, he decides to cut her off. What father do you know that cuts off their daughter, a teenage daughter, when she says she had been essayed? And now he's out here online talking about, oh, Nicki shouldn't talk about other people's kids. When you fumbled your own blood and you're out here trying to act like the moral police, defending strangers' kids. Keep in mind, by the way, Nicki never said anything negative or bad against trans kids. Now, let's not forget 2014, okay? Because he is bringing up Kenneth Petty's dirt, so we're gonna drag him and bring up all of his dirt. So 2014, he decided to hop online and downplay DV, saying DV is not that deep. Bitch! He got dragged so bad, he decided to publicly apologize. And this is the same man who can't even keep his D in his pants, who can't even keep his house in order, is now coming after Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. They keep up bringing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But Kenneth Petty is innocent, okay? And that woman actually came out and said that she lied in her affidavit. She said Kenneth Petty did not hire her, okay? It was consensual. She gave up the coochie willingly. So in her affidavit, it actually reads, on the day that I said I was R-word, it was half true and half false. The marks on my neck are not from being choked. They were from hickeys that I got the day before from someone else, not Kenneth Petty. And she says she knew Kenneth Petty for many years. They grew up together. They went to the same daycare center. They liked each other for a long time. Basically, she lied. And it was all stale until Kenneth got with Nicki. And then she decided to file against Kenneth just because, she needed a coin from Nicki Minaj. The affidavit continues. On the day that this incident happened, I was at the bus stop on my way to school. Kenneth came up and asked me where I was going. I told him I was going to school, but he told me he had something very important to talk to me about privately. So I went home with him. When we got there, we started talking, and then we had a fight. We started hitting one another. I told him I wanted to leave, but he wouldn't let me because he said I was too upset. He has to make love with me again. I said no, so we started arguing again. Then he told me if I would have sex with him, I can leave. So I did, because I was already late for school, and I just wanted to leave. I was so angry when I left his house that before I left, I picked up a water bottle and threw it at him. He started running after me. I fell down on the stairs. When he tried to help me get up, I told him I would start screaming. Then he told me to get the F out of his house and started calling me names. When I got to school, I told my friend what happened. Then she told me to go to the office and tell them that I was R-word, because even if I had X with him the first time, I didn't want to have X the second time. Everybody in school took it out of proportion, saying this and saying that. Next thing I know, the cops were there. Everybody was making a big deal about everything. I'm really sorry about everything. I hope Kenneth and his family will forgive me for all the trouble I caused him and his family. Maybe we could put all this behind us and continue the friendship we once had. No, that's never gonna happen. But now we all know the truth. That man is innocent, the girl lied, and the story. But of course, people will keep dragging this up because Kenneth's name is in the register. So there's that. Word on the street is that Charlamagne is the next one to get the boot. In my previous video, I did talk about Ebro's show being cancelled, and now people are saying Charlamagne is the next one to go. So the Breakfast Club as a whole is not going to get cancelled, but allegedly Charlamagne is the one who's going to leave the show. In 2020, he did sign a deal with iHeartRadio for 5 years of contract, and that was in 2020. Why in 2025? Now, at a recent show, when he was asked about his contract, if his contract would be renewed, he dodged the question. He did not answer yes or no, and fans are speculating the contract probably won't be renewed.
Be behind a mic. So as you mentioned, Charlamagne, it was 2020 when you started it, and I believe it was a 5-year deal. So your renewal is coming up with iHeart. Do you plan to renew?
You know what's so interesting about 2020? That it was COVID, right? And so being that it was COVID, like everybody that I reached out to said yes to the Black Effect Podcast Network. And that's why we were able to launch with 20 plus, 20 plus different podcasts. But that's crazy you knew that.
I was gonna say, how do you know this?
Because when the press release says it was a 5-year deal, and the press release came out December 2020, and we're almost there.
Guys, Carrie can read.
Carrie can read.
That's amazing. You learned anything today? So I don't think you answered my question.
Yeah. We call that the weave, I learned.
The bob and weave.
Saw Donald Trump say that on Flagrant, the weave.
So we don't...
She's waiting for you.
Can you answer the question?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, your deal with iHeart expires at the end of this year. Are you going to renew with iHeart?
Why not?
I don't like to talk business. It's not the place to talk business.
Yeah, I mean, we're having a lot of fun.
Media conference.
We have a lot of time to decide that. So we'll let you know December 31st at 11:59 p.m.
See,
good answer.
What you guys are kind of alluding, though, is that you're talking around. Like, your options are...
No, I'm not alluding to nothing.
Okay.
I said I'm weaving.
But what do you guys think? Do you really think he's gonna get the boot? Because he didn't answer yes or no. So I don't know. I think so, because if the contract was renewed, he would have answered a simple yes. But then I'm sure he didn't want to say the contract wasn't renewed because he doesn't want to get dragged, because a lot of people do not like Charlamagne. Now, if Charlamagne actually gets the boot, what would the Breakfast Club be? Because it feels different. Okay, it won't feel the same without Charlamagne in it. And people are saying DJ Envy should also go. With these RICO charges that are coming up, these stations are actually letting go of a lot of people. Ebro's show was cancelled. Do you think they're gonna just cancel the whole Breakfast Club as a whole? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, Lizzo has decided to speak out after scoring a major win in courts. She says, the 5 shaming claims against me have been officially dropped by my accusers. There was no evidence that I fired them because they gained weight, because it never happened. Now the truth is finally out. They weren't fired for gaining weight. They were fired for taking a private recording of me without my consent and sending it off to my ex-employees. I have never fired an employee for gaining weight. I have only encouraged and supported people with bigger bodies and shared my platform with them. This claim has haunted me since the day it came out. It's been devastating to suffer through this in silence, but I let my lawyers lead, and I'm so grateful for this victory. I am still in a legal battle. I am not settling. I will be fighting every single claim until the truth is out. Do you guys think she's gonna win this case? I hope so. I hope she wins this case, because she needs a big comeback. She needs a huge comeback, because her career has been going down the drain since this whole thing started. And that case was actually filed in 2023. We're in 2025 and we're about to go into 2026. Her career hasn't been the same since. I just hope she wins this case and then she comes back swinging with hit music, not the music that she's been putting out. No, we don't need that. Leave that sort of music in 2025. We need better music in 2026. What do you guys think about all the topics that we have talked about? Share your thoughts in the comment section. I really hope we brought this whole Nicki Kenneth Petty story to dust, because it's really annoying and it's tiring and it's exhausting. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for commenting. Thank you so much. Your support means a whole lot. And that is all I have for you guys in today's video. I will see you guys in my next one.